I am Pirette Saint-Prou. Welcome to Give and Receiving Healthcare, the podcast. A journey where healthcare workers can find inspiration, encouragement, knowledge, and insights to navigate safely the healthcare field. Welcome back to episode 4 of Give and Receiving Healthcare. We are going to talk about the importance of building resilience in today's healthcare. This is a broad and complex subject because it often requires a comprehensive approach that takes into account individual, organizational, and systemic levels. But today, my goal is to break it down into its key components, relate it to our everyday experiences, and provide you with practical ways to integrate it into your life. How do you define resilience? I mean, what comes to your mind when you hear the word resilience? Reflecting personally, would you consider yourself a resilient person? What is your perspective about building resilience? Do you think that building resilience is just an extra burden in your already busy life? Or do you see it as an essential investment in your personal growth? Resilience is defined as the ability to adapt and bounce back from adversity. But what does that really mean? Before getting deeper into the subject, let's consider a couple of definitions and explanations. For the American Psychological Association, resilience is the process of adapting well in the face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, and even significant sources of stress, such as family and relationship problems, serious health problems, or workplace and financial stresses. This definition sounds very complicated, right? But I like it because it supports the fact that to live a balanced life, you must be resilient. For now, the only thing I'd like you to keep in mind is that resilience is the process of adapting well. Let's continue. George Valiant, a Harvard University psychologist, in his book Aging Well, describes resilient individuals as resembling, I quote, a twig with a fresh green living core. When twisted out of shape, such a twig bends, but it does not break. Instead, it springs back and continues growing. I like this explanation. But now the question is, what is it that allows that twig to spring back and continue growing? Let's keep the question in mind too. One of my favorite definitions is the one provided by Brené Brown. She is a well-known researcher and author on vulnerability, courage, and empathy. In her book Rising Strong, she wrote, resilience is the ability to get back up after being knocked down, to rise again after falling. She emphasizes the importance of vulnerability and emotional honesty as key components of resilience. Let me end this with Martin Seligman, known as the father of positive psychology. In his book Flourish, he added something very important. He said that in order to build or enhance our resilience, we must cultivate positive emotions and a positive mindset. Using my understanding of the above definitions and explanations, and drawing from my own journey in building resilience, I consider resilience as an unbreakable strength we forge through the various experiences and challenges we encounter in life. For me, resilience is a strength that not only shapes our determination, but also our ability to pursue our life's purpose. It fosters an unshakable mindset that is deeply rooted in a profound understanding of who we are, where we've come from, where our journeys begin, and the clarity of what we desire to achieve in life. This strength is a composite of personal growth, self-awareness, and unwavering perseverance, all converging to empower us to face life's trials with courage and adaptability. When you choose to embark in the journey of building resilience, there are two things you need to keep in mind. One, there are factors within you and in your environment that can boost or weaken your resilience. Second, your level of resilience, like your passion for what you do, can fluctuate because resilience is not a one-size-fits-all trait. It means that resilience requires a combination of supportive elements that are usually within our reach. They are our different skills and coping mechanisms, our mental and emotional strength, our self-love and self-compassion, or everything that nurtures our inner strength and enables us to adapt, like our support systems, friends, family, and community, our self-care practices, positive mindset, which is our ability to maintain a positive outlook even in tough times, our emotional intelligence, which allows us to understand and manage our emotions effectively, and our ability to learn from experiences, which helps us to grow from challenges. But unfortunately, in today's healthcare, there are numerous factors that are not water and sun to our plant of resilience. And they are everything that we talk about every day. Workload, emotional strain such as patients suffering in death, feeling of lack of control over our work conditions, inadequate resources, toxic or unsupportive environment, safety concerns, interpersonal conflicts at work, societal or organizational constraints, and work-life balance. Adding to all of that, if you are someone who cultivates negative thought patterns, if you lack support, if you are in poor physical, mental, or emotional health, if you have the tendency to avoid problems, if you don't have clear purpose or goals, if you're asking yourself very often, what the heck am I doing in healthcare? If you don't know your limits and you don't set healthy boundaries, not only it may be very difficult for you to build or enhance your resilience, but your level of resilience may even decrease without you realizing it. And this can lead to increased frustration and dissatisfaction. Most importantly, when you identify yourself as being strong or resilient and you realize that you are struggling to bounce back. But contrary to what many of you believe, being resilient does not mean never feeling overwhelmed, handling problems alone, or always being strong. And building resilience does not need big, life-changing steps to quickly bounce back from tough times. There is not one among us who can say with certainty that they have never faced difficulties or trials in life. It means that Each one of us has already had the opportunity to develop our resilience in various ways and degrees. Because resilience often grows in accordance with how we respond to and think about challenges. And true resilience is not about enduring poor conditions or tolerating unnecessary stress. It is about adapting and finding ways to thrive despite challenges. It is not about the speed of recovery, but also the quality of it. But we often overlook that part of being resilient is to acknowledge that resilient paths can involve difficult choices, accepting painful truths, and knowing when to seek help and when to use your support systems. Do you remember the three things I asked you to hold on to from the different definitions in the beginning? Let me remind you. Brené Brown said that vulnerability and emotional honesty are key components of resilience. Martin Seligman said that we must cultivate positive emotions and positive mindset to be resilient. And for the American Psychological Association, resilience is the process of adapting well. Now, let me ask you something. When was the last time you allowed yourself to be vulnerable? Allowing yourself to be vulnerable means embracing the courage to openly express your true feelings, thoughts, and experiences, even when it exposes you to the possibility of being judged, hurt, or rejected. It involves a willingness to acknowledge and share your weaknesses, fears, and uncertainties, as well as your hopes and dreams. I'm not asking you to expose your life to everybody, but to acknowledge your emotions, identify their sources, and be bold enough to act to change what needs to be changed and ask for help if needed. You know why? Because when you face hard times and you are open about your feelings, you are strengthening your ability to handle difficult situations. And in doing so, you are cultivating resilience. Let me make a difference right here. Being open about your feelings is different from complaining, okay? Being open about your feelings is a constructive way of expressing your emotional state that fosters understanding and connection. But complaining focuses on what is wrong or what you are unhappy about and involve blaming external circumstances for your own feelings and problems, which can create negativity, disconnection, and can prevent you from taking personal responsibility to better or change your condition. Complaining rarely leads to solutions. You can complain for months or years, but the problems will persist. On the other hand, openly expressing your feelings facilitates a deeper understanding of the situation, as it enables you to address important questions that can help you to act. You can ask yourself, what actions can I take? Who can assist me? What resources do I have at my disposal? How does this impact my life? How long can I manage this situation? What can I do now? What options are available to me? You see, the openness I'm talking about not only allows for more authentic connections with others, but also provides critical emotional support and fosters self-awareness. It is through this process of confronting and processing your emotions rather than avoiding them that you build the mental and emotional muscles necessary to navigate future adversities. Each time you engage in this process, you become more adept at dealing with life's challenges, not because the challenges themselves become easier, but because you develop a stronger, more confident sense of self. Now, what about the factors that weaken our resilience? Since they can be internal or external, within or beyond our control, and they may vary in how they affect us. The best thing is to acknowledge them. For us in healthcare, chronic stress from our job is the major barrier in building resilience. But unfortunately, we often forget that work stress can worsen personal issues like unresolved challenges, past trauma, anxiety, or depression. The worst is, many of us believe that it's normal to be constantly overstressed and on edge. Let me tell you, this belief is harmful because it hinders your ability to cope. Being a healthcare professional does not mean you should sacrifice your well-being, okay? And my work, from ordering the book Give and Receive to launching this podcast, is dedicated to awakening a sense of self-awareness and underscoring the necessity of self-care in each one of you. It is a kind of reminder that it is only by building your own strength that you will be able to continue to support and uplift others. I believe that you have three options to deal with chronic stress in today's healthcare. Either you learn to handle it better and you be serious about it, or you advocate to make positive changes in your work environment, or you quit the field without regrets if it's too much. Now, let's analyze something. If you are deeply committed to your career in healthcare and are not considering quitting, you are left with two choices: learning to handle your challenges better, or working to improve healthcare system by being a source of inspiration for others and advocating for change. But let's be realistic. Creating change in healthcare is a challenging and slow process because of its complex and very politicized nature. And because change happens over time, not overnight, it also requires patience and resilience. So, your most immediate and controllable action should be to focus on managing your stress effectively. But effective stress management is about more than just responding to stress when it appears. It is about cultivating a lifestyle and habits that proactively can support your overall well-being. Let me tell you, building resilience is a commitment. And true commitment means zero excuse. Just like you commit to your career in healthcare, you must commit to being resilient. This is not an optional add-on. It is a necessity. For those of you facing challenges in building resilience and experiences ups and downs frequently, I offer a concise 8-step strategy. These practical and insightful steps are not only achievable, but also guide you from initial awareness to concrete action and further growth. Step 1 is to become aware of stressful situations in your work environment or your personal life. Ask yourself about daily challenges and be honest, because you must acknowledge them so you can understand their impact without blaming yourself, others, or circumstances. Step 2 is to assess your choice to serve in healthcare if your stress is work-related. Ask yourself, why did I choose this field? What does working in healthcare mean to me? These questions can help you to reconnect with your passion for helping others, which is a significant source of resilience. Remind yourself that your passion led you here, so let it sustain you. However, know that passion alone is not enough to serve in today's healthcare. Let me say it again. Passion alone is not enough to serve in today's healthcare. Without self-awareness, the very passion that drives you can lead you to burnout and negative behaviors. Don't lie to yourself. And don't let people abuse your kindness and compassion. Being compassionate should not mean overextending yourself. Remember, passion is dynamic and varies over time. So, you shouldn't feel guilty if your passion ebbs and flows, as guilt also can adversely affect your resilience. Step 3 is to take an inventory and accept what you can't change if it's not detrimental to your well-being. Keep in mind that acceptance does not mean approval, okay? It is understanding that some factors are beyond your control and learning to live with them while focusing on aspects that you can influence. This approach allows you to release the emotional burden of things you cannot control and help you to move forward instead of being stuck in resistance and denial. Step 4 is to decide how you want to feel at work. Ask yourself what kind of experience you want in your career. Do you want to find ways to be happy and positive, even in tough times? Or are you okay with feeling down and frustrated most of the time? This step is about choosing your daily attitude and setting the mood for your work life. Step 5 is taking action. Since you've set your tone, now it's time to implement your plan. This might seem difficult due to various factors, especially in your personal life, but don't let fear or guilt hold you back. Your desire to feel fulfilled, alive, and healthy should guide you. Step 6 is to adopt a learning mindset because resilience is closely linked to personal growth. View each challenge as a growth opportunity, and instead of letting them make you bitter for hours, days, or even years, ask, how can these challenges help me grow? Consider what skills or qualities each challenge is pushing you to develop. Is it patience, non-judgment, listening, understanding, resilience, or perhaps better communication? Step 7 is to practice professional detachment. This does not mean being uncaring, okay? It means understanding your emotions in tough situations and maintaining professional boundaries. It is a skill that helps you care for others without letting work stress invade your personal life, which benefits both you and your patients. And step 8 is to practice regular self-reflection. I don't know if you realize it, but I insist every time on self-reflection. Self-reflection is a key tool for self-improvement and emotional intelligence. Don't be afraid to reflect on your journey. It doesn't have to be about work all the time. You can take time to look at the choices you've made, the actions you've taken, and the lessons you've learned. This is about understanding your growth and using it to foster ongoing resilience. You know, among all the benefits of self-reflection, it allows you to develop a greater sense of inner peace as you learn to let go of the need to control and of things that don't serve your growth. This concept is central in the book Give and Receive. because I firmly believe that healthcare settings are among the best places for learning about life and oneself. In the stories that I shared in the book, each patient encounter acts as an invaluable masterclass. However, in today's healthcare environment, we often become overly fixated on the negatives, consumed by inefficiencies, and blinded by our own personal struggles and challenges. And unfortunately, this prevents many of us from absorbing the lessons that could provide answers to our life questions, offer the guidance we need to transform our own lives, or help us to appreciate the extraordinary journey that each day in healthcare brings. I'm closing by reminding you that resilience is more of a journey than a destination. It is a skill that develops and evolves over time, a crucial part of our personal strength intertwined with our passion and self-awareness. Knowledge is a powerful tool, not merely in its accumulation, but in its application. Having shared my insights and experiences with all of you in the healthcare community, the responsibility now shifts to each one of you to embrace these lessons, letting them transform your practice and fully enjoy the profound rewards of your profession. Thank you for being part of our community and for serving others with all your heart. Let's continue working together to make the world a better place. Visit us at giveandreceive.now.com, where you can download for free our 2-week self-reflection journal, your daily self-assessment sheet, a short test to evaluate your receptiveness, and much more. If you haven't bought your book yet, go get it now on Amazon. I promise you, you won't regret it. Until next time, stay inspired. In the middle of everything, remember, your well-being is as important as the care you provide.